Hi, I'm Mike, and this week was everything but a normal week on the ranch. I traveled almost 3,000 miles this week. I got robbed, and I came back to a pile of work. Find out what took me away from the ranch, the cows, and my family this week on our Wyoming Life. Getting our story to you is important to us. We've asked many viewers to comment to us privately about why they watch us and what keeps them coming back and what we can do for them. So, when a few months ago we were invited to a YouTube conference in Cincinnati, Erin and I knew that one of us would have to go. 20 different YouTube creators were invited to sit down for a few days with YouTube consultants and experts and basically shake out their channels. Find out what was working and what wasn't. We were honored to be selected to go, although I had no idea how we were going to pull it off. The last week in September isn't a terribly busy time for me, but for Erin, she still has farmers markets to worry about. Fall crops such as squash and pumpkins are rolling in, and for her, one day of farmers market takes up at least 3 total days of the week. From picking and washing vegetables to baking and market itself. Throw in the headache of managing the entire market and 30 other vendors and 3 kids at home and their issues. It really became apparent quickly that I would be the one going to Cincinnati. So I was given strict instructions from Erin to learn everything I could, to talk to everybody, to make contacts. You know, I felt like I was back in my corporate life 10 years ago. Before we came to the ranch. Then it was time to think about you. And I decided to make this weekend's video about taking the bulls off of the cows. They've been in with the cows since July, and their fun time is over. We have to move them back to their own corral so that we can control when the cows have their calves. We also have to wait about 45 days after we take the bulls off the cows to ultrasound the cows and make sure they're pregnant. So I went down to the cows and spent an entire day getting the bulls sorted off, filming the bulls fighting over the whole process, trying to assert dominance over each other, them running into the gator with me in it and me running into them. Bulls are sometimes stubborn and they need a little bump to get them moving. Before I left, I got a hold of neighbors and I made sure I knew that they knew I was going to be gone. And making sure that it was okay with them that Erin called them if she had any problems or needed any help. She was fine, by the way. And as it turned out, it was me that could have used a little help. The next day, I flew away to Cincinnati, Ohio, a city that I've never been in. You have to remember that we weren't born ranchers. Both Erin and I worked in corporate radio. We were both executives at one point, dressing up every day, commuting and working in an office with other people and not cows and gardens. But in this city, I now felt really out of place. I was the only guy within who knows how many miles with a cowboy hat on, wandering around high rises and city lights, and more concrete than I'd seen in a very long time. And you know what? It never even occurred to me to take the hat off. It's just part of who I am now, and I wear it proudly. When people came up to me and asked, where I was from, I told them. And I told them what I did, and I told them what I do, and no one really looked down on me for it. In fact, most were thrilled and excited to hear the stories of the ranch and Wyoming. And you know what? Even Tim, the main instructor and consultant at the conference, said if he ever made it to Wyoming, he wants to get to stick his hand up a cow's ass. He's got long arms and a strong stomach. He could probably pull it off, but I'll believe it when I see it. Overall, I had a great time. I followed Erin's instructions and learned a lot. I met a lot of people, and I tried to get out and socialize. I did think I did a decent job for a guy that spends his day talking to ranch animals, and I came out of it with a whole new perspective on what we're doing here on YouTube. One thing I didn't come back with, however, was my camera. Somewhere along the line, it was stolen from me. It was gone forever, along with all the footage I had taken of sorting off the bulls just a couple days prior. My plan was to actually take this footage and get started on this video while I was at the hotel at night. But after classes all day long and dinners at night, I usually didn't even get back to the hotel until sometimes 11 p.m. So none of that got done. And when it came time to pack up and leave on Saturday morning, my camera was not to be found. So even off the ranch, things never go according to plan, and I adapted and overcame and came up with a new plan and moved on. And I headed home, where work awaits, and you know what? It's been waiting for days. I fly in and head straight to farmer's market, arriving just in time to switch cars with Erin and drive the farmer's market truck home. Then I get home and receive a warm welcome. And then it's back to work. Unloading the truck, taking the kids to feed the pigs, and giving them a few trinkets that I brought back from my trip.
It's a fidget spinner. But you need to thank Tim for your fidget spinner. So look at the camera up there and say, thank you, Tim, for our fidget spinner.
Thank you, Tim, for our fidget spinner.
Okay.
All right, let's go get some lunch. Mom and Dad are hungry.
Lunch, however, was short-lived, as tomorrow begins hunting season and a few hunters arrive after driving 18 hours from Sacramento, California. These guys, this is their second year hunting antelope on the ranch. And we meet up in the yard and it's like they've never left. We catch up, and to my surprise,
all right, Mike,
they come bearing gifts.
The Pronghorn Posse, I'd like to present you with this award. Hopefully it's a right side up. I don't know what the correct.
I can see an ass.
It's right side
Put
up.
that picture in there, man.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you,
Now,
guys.
one request, can we throw a bullet hole with right in the...
Right.
I'm just kidding.
Do it, yeah.
Don't let Bob do it though, because he'll miss.
Damn.
It's another amazing thing about the ranch, bringing people together, forming relationships, friendships, and family. This is going to be a great month for us and the ranch. I firmly believe that the ranch brings out the best in all of us. Whether you're a former radio DJ who had to buy a copy of Raising Beef Cattle for Dummies when he got here, or a city girl who was afraid to move out to the ranch because there's no street lights, or even a warden of one of the most historic prisons in the world. To me, it's all amazing, and we're going to make it even better. The classes that I took in Cincinnati will hopefully continue to grow us as a community. You may see some changes from here on out, but it's not going to change who we are or what we do, and it's never going to change our message. We want to show the whole world that hard work and determination can lead to great things in every single one of us. And thank you for being a part of that. Next week, more with the hunters. Later on this month, we'll sell calves. It's one of the best and the saddest times on the ranch. Don't miss a thing. Subscribe now and share our message. As always, have a great week, and thanks for joining us in our Wyoming Life.